So recently there was an idea put in the Illuvium ideas section of the Discord, and we can thank Gun Glitchin for this one. Basically what he's saying is that he would like to purchase some discs with Illuvitars that he doesn't have. And he suggests some kind of royalties for using someone else's Illuvitar to purchase a disc. Now I didn't catch this right away, but I did catch the video that Oscar Matt made on it. If I remember, I'll link that below. He'll give you a little background on how this discussion went and his thoughts, but I just wanted to bring my thoughts into this. Because first of all, I think it's a great idea. I think this could bring more utility to those high-power Illuvitars. If you're able to earn from royalties, if others can use your Illuvitar to create and purchase a disc plate. Now at first I thought, how often is this really going to come into play? And then I saw someone mention, it's Christmas, there's this, maybe 12, 13-year-old who's really into the game, really wants a disc plate of Ramfire, and that mom or dad is definitely not going to be spending a few $1,000s just to get that. So I could see them hopping onto the market, finding someone else's Ramfire, and putting that on a disc for that Christmas present. So I really just wanted to put my 2 cents into this discussion. And the reason I'm making a whole video about it, because if you've been a follower of my content over the past almost 2 years at this point, you'll know that I'm really big into the lending and renting systems in Web3 gaming. I've talked about how lending and renting would work in Illuvium 0. I also talked about how it could work in the Overworld. But I haven't really put anything out there about how I think a lending and renting system could work in Illuvium Beyond. And once I saw this, a light bulb rang off in my head. Just another reason why we need a lending and renting system within the Illuvidex. So say you do want that Ramfire on the plate. What you would do is you would just go onto the Illuvidex, find a Ramfire that's listed to rent. Now whoever that owner is, it can set it for whatever price they want and for whatever length they want. So say they set it up there for $20 for a 1 hour period. And someone wants to use that to purchase a disc, can just rent that Illuvitar for that hour, use it to purchase that disc, and then it'll get automatically sent back to the owner. So basically with this simple system, this problem is solved. Somebody can rent an Illuvitar to print their own disc, and whoever owns that Illuvitar can make some return from it. But the whole idea of a renting and lending system can do so much more than that. Again, I touched on Zero and Overworld, but there are other uses for Illuvium Beyond. Like say you're one of those big whales and you have 6 or 7 Ramfires, and you want to hold them for long term because you think they could go up in value. But instead of them just collecting dust because you can't fit into a collection, you could put that Ramfire Illuvitar up for rent to make a little return on it. And then someone like me could come along and say, I'm fighting for that top 100 spot on the leaderboard each and every week. The one Illuvitar I am missing right now is a Ramfire. If having a Ramfire in my album can ensure that I stay in that top 100 and collect that 0.5 ILV each week, I would probably be willing to rent that out for $10, $15, maybe $20 a week in order to ensure I make that top 100. So that could be passive income for the holder of that. And me as the renter, I could be willing to pay a little bit in order to fill out my album. Now I know right away some of you are going to think like, oh, but that's cheating. But in reality, this can already be done. A lending and renting system is just creating a trustless and convenient way of doing it. Now we know Alexa is one of the top holders in Illuvium. If I went to Alexa and said, hey, let me borrow one of your Ramfires and I'll pay you $20 a week, and say we had already built some trust with each other, then I could be sent that Ramfire. I can pay that $20 a week, and this can already happen. But if these things are going on behind the scenes and somebody decides to be malicious with it, then they could run off with an Illuvitar or not hold up their end of the bargain. And even on top of that, third-party protocols could easily make lending systems to make this possible. So why not just bring the lending and renting system right to the Illuvidex? Again, it would be convenient for the players, it would be trustless for the players, and Illuvium could even take that 2 or 3% fee, just like they do for normal sales, and that can be revenue used for RevDis for all the Illuvium stakers. Now, if you want to hear more about lending and renting in Illuvium, I've already made a few videos on that. I will definitely leave one up here and put a couple more in the description below. But I want to hear your thoughts on this. Would you like to see a lending and renting system built into the Illuvidex? And would you use it as a lender? Would you use it as a renter? Do you think this is good or bad for the ecosystem? I want to hear all about it. But that's it for this video. Catch you in the next one.